Guys, so today we're gonna try and get this fuel pump that we got for the 70, get it mounted. Accuracy should be on his way over here. We're gonna try and mount it in the trunk, just get it mounted so I can get the fittings we need to get it hooked up. I probably don't have the fittings we need to get it hooked up. So we just get it mounted and I can get it hooked up, and we can straighten out the regulator, straighten out the carburetor, because this pump's a whole lot bigger than what was on it. I gotta do the same thing with 67, because it's the same pump that's on it. But our plan is to run this hose through the hole, come over here, hook up to it, probably cut a hole in the floor to have the hose that's gonna go to the front come up and hook up. Here's the plan. Hopefully that works out. But I'm gonna have a little time-lapse video of us working on it. So I hope y'all enjoy it. All right, guys, so I got the fittings, finished hooking up the fuel system on the 70. Got it all hooked up, all wired up. I done turned it on, got the fuel pressure set where I want it. I got a little bit above 4 pounds right now, because the 67, we run at about 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds. So I'm thinking 4 pounds would be okay with this car. We'll see. This is where we're gonna start out at. So I'm about to try and fire it up. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. So as you just saw, we got the 70 back going. We finally got the fuel system all buttoned up. Got the new fuel pump on. Got the bypass regulator on it. Same fuel setup that's on the 67. Everything looks like it's working like it's supposed to. We set it on 6 pounds. Sounds good. Carburetor ain't having no trouble. So plan on in a couple weeks. Hopefully we can take it to Holly Springs and see what it does. I did change the trans brake button on it. I changed it to a mushroom button because I like a bigger button than those small buttons. So I put a mushroom button on it. Only thing we really had left to do to it before it's fully ready is we bought some breathers I got over here. Got some breathers that we're gonna weld on the valve cover. That way the motor can vent. We had it set up differently than that. We just don't want to do it that way. We got to weld those breathers on to the valve covers. And that's really the only thing left for it, you know, and it'll be ready to go. We're just waiting for February. We're gonna try to go to Holly Springs, and hopefully the weather's good enough that we can do that. But I did some other little small stuff. I bought some emblems, they're like sticker emblems from 1320 Media, and put on the car. It's got a Z28 emblem on the fender right here, but it's the only emblems we had on it, and I like to make it look like kind of like stock, so I found the 1320 Media, and I was wanting to put some headlight stickers in the front end and the front cap like I got on my car on the 67. And as you can see, I'm sure if you saw another video, the car running, it ain't got one side with a headlight sticker because they didn't exactly fit like I was hoping they would. So I was trying to cut them to make them fit, and I messed it up. And my mom coming here, and she actually got that one to look really good. So I had to order another pair. I'm waiting on them to come in so she can do the same thing to that side. But I did get a C28 emblem for the grill. It really looks really good. And then I got the Camaro emblem that goes on the nose. And it come with another Z28 emblem, and I've seen pictures of some of them with it on the back. So I got one on the back. I think stuff like that just makes the car look better to me. I like stuff like that. So I think once we get the other headlight decal put in, it'll look really good. I like the way those turned out. But yeah, it's pretty much ready to go. We just gotta put them breathers on and wait for February 19th. See what she's gonna do. See, it's got a 614 on the window. That's what it ran last time we had it out, and it was surging really bad. So with this fuel system we got on it now, I wouldn't be surprised if it run a 590 something, really. I mean, when we put that same fuel system on this car, it picked it up from running 6.0s to 580s, mid 80s. So if that does the same thing for this car, it's gonna be dead on 6.0 or high 590. So we'll see what she does, hopefully in a couple weeks. Yeah, 67, we got the driver's side front wheel off and brake rotor off, because we replaced the passenger side earlier last year. It was dragging really bad and ended up being the brake rotor was warped. So we replaced it, and this side wasn't really dragging that bad, and it really wasn't dragging bad at all once we took it off. It's really not even warped. It don't look like it is, but I had already bought a new one, so we're gonna put the new one on anyways. You know, it probably needs to be replaced anyways, so we're gonna do that. You see, we put a dummy block in the car because the motor's not really level, and I feel like that's why we have carburetor problems with them bleeding. The bowl is bleeding, or the needle and seat's leaking by, because it don't sit fully level in the car. So we're gonna try and fix that. And I did buy a K&R Pro Cube like I wanted. Already got it mounted and wired. It's got the Z-Force option on it. I already got my bump up and bump down wired on the steering wheel. That way I'll have a bump up and bump down. I've never had a bump up and bump down. I've always wanted to try it because I've gotten to where I can kind of tell if I'm late or not. So I feel like that's going to help me a lot next year. It's probably going to bite me in the butt a few times too, but I feel like it'll help. And that K&R Pro Cube, that's probably it is the nicest delay box I've ever had, and probably the nicest delay box that's ever been in this car. I've always had cheaper delay boxes, and that one's the nicest one that's ever been in this car. So hopefully it'll help me win a few more races next year with that bump down option. I think it's going to help. If I can learn, you know, when I let go of the button, I know exactly, not exactly, but kind of in the ballpark of what kind of light that is. And that would help out a lot if I could figure that out completely. But update on the motor, we got the block back from Jay's. It got honed. We ordered the pistons we needed. We're waiting on the pistons to get here. Probably a couple more weeks before they get here. We had some work done to the heads and got them back. So we got everything else we're going to change. We're not going to change the camshaft. We're going to change springs on the heads. We already got them. Really not going to change a whole lot. So we're really just waiting on the pistons. And then we can start putting it back together and hopefully have the motor back in the car. April. No, not April. March. We're going to hopefully be ready to race in April. In March, hoping to have the motor back in the car by March, so it'll be race ready and we can start racing in racing 67 in April. That's the plan for this car. Because I'm gonna be working weekends in March anyways, so we can get the motor back in by March. I can start back racing this one in April. I'm off the weekends in February, so we're gonna try and take this car. It's not too cold, and if we can just make one pass, you know, just see if we got it fixed. That's all we're wanting to do, is see what it's gonna run, see if it's fit, the fuel system's fixed, and we move on to the next thing we want to do to it, or we feel like it needs, you know. But I appreciate all y'all watching, and just tell your friends and all that, you know. Come check us out. I appreciate y'all.